Hi guys, it's Ashley, and today I wanted to do a video on which top coat or base coat is best for making nail decals, because I know there's a lot of choices out there and it can be confusing, and then if you use the wrong top coat for making your stamping decals or your nail vinyl decals, it can make a huge difference in how easy it is to apply to your nail. So I went and gathered all of the top coats and the base coat that I had lying around my house, and we're going to see which ones are the best. So without further ado, let's get into how well these work for making your decals. The first one that I am applying is just a plain sticky base coat. The second is Wet n Wild's Clear Nail Protector, which is their top coat. The third one that I'm applying is Seche Vite. The fourth one that I am applying is Look Cosmetics Plain Jane Topcoat. The last one that I am applying is Look Cosmetics Quick Dry Topcoat. Now that I have applied all of these top coats and the base coat, I am going to step away for a few seconds and wait for them to dry. The base coat is actually already dry, and so is the Wet n Wild top coat, but I'll give all these other ones a second to dry. And they are all dry, so now I'm going to stamp over them, but real quick before I do, I would like to point out the amount of bubbling that the Seche Vite top coat does versus the others. Like, this one's completely flat. This is the Look regular nail top coat. This is the fast dry, and they're both really flat. The Wet n Wild top coat bubbles a little bit, but not too terribly much, and the base coat does not bubble at all either. So real quick, I'm going to stamp over all of these. Okay, now that I have design stepped on each of the top coats and have made little decals out of them, I'm going to give the stamping polish a few minutes to dry. Okay, so the first one up on the removal process is the plain base coat. And the removal process is kind of tricky because it's so fragile. It's fragile like this because base coat is meant to be a base. It's not actually meant to be a topper. Okay. Now that it's removed, As you can see, it kind of curls in on itself, and it's paper thin. So you have to be very careful with this one with the removal. And then when applying it to your nail, it conforms very well, but it is very easy to get wrinkles and air bubbles under it. The next step is to trim away the excess pieces of decal. And then clean up any excess from around the nails with acetone and a cleanup brush. This also seals the decal down around your nails. And then we can apply a layer of top coat over the base coat, and we're done. Next is the Wet n Wild top coat. No problems at all removing this one off of the stamping mat. And as you can see, it does not curl in on itself, and it remains very pliable. It is really easy to apply to the nail, as it's pliable and sticky. Even when dry, it's still sticky. And it's hard to explain, but it's not like super dry and crackly, so it's still pliable, so it like hugs your nail so well. See? As you can see, it's really hugging the nail. It's pushed down on the nail everywhere, and it's sticking to it like glue. Just like before, you can easily trim off any excess decal. And melt away anything left over and seal the decal down around your nail using acetone. And apply a layer of top coat over the top of it to completely seal it down. Next is the Sesh Feet. And it is very easy to get up off the mat. It like just pops off almost. But it is very stiff, as you can see. And I'm more in preference of it being flexible and bendy and a little bit tacky, but I don't know if you can hear that. It almost sounds like paper. So let's try to stick it to the nail. And it doesn't stick at all on its own. It just like falls off. So already, in my opinion, Seche Vite, you have lost, because the others will stick to my nail without anything extra being done to my nail, no top coat, no nothing, and this one, it won't even begin to. And not hating on Seche Vite, you can do it, but you're going to have to apply another layer of nail polish or something to stick it to your nail. Because I used to use Seche Vite all the time before I tested other top coats, and it worked, but it was very easy to get air bubbles under it because it's so stiff, and you didn't have much room to maneuver with it as you could with the Wet n Wild, because the Wet n Wild is sticky and tacky, and you can pull it up and stick it back down onto dry nail polish and rearrange it if you want to, whereas this one you have to use wet nail polish to stick it down. Alright, and here's the Look Cosmetics regular top coat. I've actually never tried this one for decals before. And right off the bat, it has more of the consistency of the base coat than anything else. The dry, flaky, thin, papery feel that's really, really hard to peel up. You're going to have to be careful when peeling this up. I've got it. It's really papery thin. It does tend to curl in on itself. So let's see if we can stick it to a nail. And it sticks a tiny bit better than the Seche Vite did, as it's papery thin. I'm still having a lot of trouble with it. And the last one is the Look Cosmetics Quick Dry Top Coat. And it peels up very easily. And it's not as stiff as the Seche Vite one. So let's see how well it sticks to the nail. And as you can see, it's not sticky at all either. So it just kind of pops off and doesn't stick. But it's not as crunchy as the Seche Vite one. It's a little bit more flexible and has a little bit more give. And the winner to me is the Wet n Wild Clear Nail Protector, because this one dries really flexible and it conforms and sticks to your nail even when your nail polish is dry. So you don't have to use another layer of top coat to be sticky and tacky to make it stick to your nail. So you don't have to time applying your polish directly to the nail vinyl, and because it remains sticky and flexible, you can peel it up even after you've placed it on the nail and replace it, and then acetone makes it shape right on down to your nail, and then applying a layer of top coat, which I always use Seche Vite to seal down my decals, makes it just perfect on your nail. So this is my favorite by far. It's only 93 cents at Walmart. So I mean, you can't really beat that. The second place for me is the base coat. It's a little bit hard to get off the mat without tearing it. You have to be really, really careful. It's a big difference between it and the Wet n Wild Top Coat, because the Wet n Wild Top Coat comes off the mat very, very easily. It's flexible, so it has some give to it and it doesn't tear. And it has a completely different texture than all four of these, because they all dry kind of like, almost like paper and crinkly and crackly, and this one dries dries flexible and bendy. So this comes in second because it sticks to the nail. You can stick it to the nail and then remove the excess from around it. It is kind of paper thin, so you have to be careful when sticking it, because if you stick it wrong, you can get a wrinkle up underneath it, and then you've got like a bend in your design or a wrinkle in your design. It's also easier to get air bubbles underneath it than it is this one, because this one conforms to your nail when you stick it down. Like, it'll completely conform to the polish that's already on your nail, which is really, really nice, and it's really easy to pull it up and then push it back down and get the air bubbles out of it. And then I would have to say between these two, there's really not much of a difference. This one dries a little bit faster than this one. They come in third place because they're not so stiff and thick as the Seche Vite. They've got a little bit more give to them, but they do not stick to the nail. Once they're dry, they're not going to stick. You're going to have to use something to adhere them to the nail, which is a major drawback for me, because the more layers of polish you put on and the more steps you have to do to make it stick to your nail, the more you leave yourself open for error. And it's a lot easier for me personally to get air bubbles underneath my design if I'm using one of these top coats that you have to stick down with another layer of top coat. And in last place is Seche Vite, and it is because it dries so stiff. It has no give to it whatsoever. One good thing about it is that if you're using Seche Vite for your decal, once you stick it down and you apply another top coat of Seche Vite to it, the excess kind of melts away and you can just peel it off. But to me, it's not worth it. I would rather just cut the excess off and remove it with acetone and have the nail decal that I've made completely stick to my nail and not have to use another layer of top coat or use tacky sticky nail polish to seal it down, and then not be able to pull it off and manipulate it and rearrange it if you need to. So the winner is the Wet n Wild Top Coat. It's 93 cents at Walmart. I think it's like 99 cents at Walgreens, something like that. So if you have it available for you, I would go ahead and get it. To me, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Bye guys, thanks for watching.